Okay, I'm back. Hello. That was frustrating. My daughter and son-in-law have AT&T at their location, and it is obviously a really bad AT&T connection, but I've actually never found a good AT&T connection, so this is status quo. This is the RV Women Hangout for August 31st. The second half, I guess, we were talking about the concerns in being prepared for the eventuality of catastrophe. And so that's kind of where I'm going to pick up. Yeah. Is it going the right way? No? Okay, great. That's kind of where I'm going to pick up now, is I had briefly commented regarding the tragedy that happened. I'm just having a day. Anyway, the tragedy that happened to that lovely couple when they were out on their scooter, and which resulted in his death and her severe injuries. And so, of course, we send them our best for recovery and for a recovery. I don't know how you recover from this. But I would like to say that those are the kinds of things that a full-time or even a part-time, you know, kind of full-time RVer prepares for, is to make sure that whether you're able or not, that some of these things can be handled by a person that you designate, or you know, a plan that you have made that provides written instructions for whoever is reading them, whether they would be emergency services of any kind, so that they're aware of medical conditions that you might have, or family locations that would need to be informed, things like that. Life insurance policies. I have life insurance policies. My daughter has copies of everything. And in the event that anything happens to me, there are written instructions that I don't carry with me, but that I do keep in the RV. But once I get in the Suzuki and take off, or if I go hiking and fall off a cliff or something, you know, they have to figure out where it came from. And the only way to do that is by having something on your person that can direct individuals to, you know, whatever you need to have taken care of. You know, they have to have a way to get that. You have to give them the information so that they can, you know, inform people. There have been many, many times where I have been out in the middle of nowhere, and if something were to happen to me, it would take, you know, police, emergency responders, whomever, a long time to figure out where it came from. And so I'm gonna make it a real effort to that I do have something on me always, and some kind of ID card that instructs people, first responders, as to what they need to do, where they need to go, you know, where's the hidden key for the door, so that they don't have to break the door down. They can simply, you know, get the hidden key and open the door and get my medical packet or my instructions in the event that, you know, I'm deceased. Because I have instructions for that as well. And again, my daughter, I only have one child, and my daughter has all those instructions as well. So, and she and I both comprehend that what I'm doing can add complications to either obtaining medical care or providing people with information so that they can inform her that I'm deceased. And I'm all by myself. It's not as though I have a companion with me who can pick up that mantle and carry it. You know, there is no one else. So for you solo women RVers out there, this is something that you really need to consider. Just going out and taking a walk in the desert or in the mountains or something, and you don't come back, even if you're parked around people, you know, who's going to inform the authorities or whatever that you didn't come back? You know, these are things that you need to be conscientious about when you're traveling by yourself. And it doesn't matter if you're in a car or an RV or on an airplane or on a ship, it doesn't matter. You know, you somehow, somewhere, and there's probably an app for that. But again, I don't take my phone. When I go hiking or for a walk outside, I don't take my phone. I'm not concerned with people who are calling me. You know, most phone calls that I receive are pretty much scheduled. So, and it has to do with the fact that I'm not always someplace where there is a good internet or cell connection. So, though it all seems like fun and games to be a full-time RVer, there's a very serious side to it as well. And those things have to be taken into consideration to safeguard everyone. You know, it's more than being prepared for simply a dead battery on your RV. It's being prepared for everything. And not to get too gruesome on the subject or anything, but, you know, my instructions for in the event that I am deceased is, I mean, I'm not murdered or anything, is simply transport my body to a crematorium. And, you know, I'm okay. Plastic bag in a box. I'm okay with that. I'm dead. I don't care. And my daughter understands that. I don't have the need nor want for any kind of extensive service, you know, like a memorial or anything like that. I don't, you know, I'm dead. I don't care. So, but, you know, she understands that, you know, in the event that I'm not someplace local, that, you know, it's a prepaid thing that I bought that, the notification is made and my body is sent to a crematorium, and she can have the ashes mailed to her, if that's legal, I don't even know, or she can arrange to come and pick them up, and I told her, I said if it's like a really cool place, you know, just leave them there, throw them around, whatever. You know, I'm fine with that. You know, I don't have any desire to leave a life insurance policy for my daughter so that she can throw me an elaborate funeral. No. If she wants to throw herself a fabulous vacation, that's okay. I would like that. And I mean, that would be something that I would appreciate from just the standpoint of practicality, because it's who I am. I'm just practical. But, you know, again, you have to provide these instructions because people aren't mind readers. They're not going to know. And if you don't, and you're a solo RVer, your body could sit in a morgue for a long time until they figured out who you are, where you came from, what happened, you know, stuff like that. And though this isn't a fun topic, it's a topic that really requires you to take action on your own behalf and on the behalf of your family and loved ones so that they're not having to make these decisions for you, so that they know what your wishes are. Even if you're, in a coma in the hospital, pull the plug, don't pull the plug, pull the plug, don't pull the plug, pull the plug on me. I mean, for me, depending on what the injury is, if it's, if I'm never coming out of it, pull the plug. I'm fine with that. That's not how I want to live my life, whatever life that is. But, it is a really difficult subject for many, 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 many people. And the most loving thing that you can do is be prepared. Have, even if it's something as simple as, every 2 days, you phone your loved one and at a certain time, and if you don't make that call, then they know something's wrong. And they start calling, and let people know where you are when you're boondocking, so that in the event they don't get the call, they can send the sheriff's department or the police or whatever out to wherever it is that you are. Obviously, if there's more than one of you, tragically, in the example of those poor folks on the scooter, neither one of them was capable of making a call. It was just the two of them. I'm assuming that they have, family, and, that those people needed to be notified and decisions needed to be made. And if those instructions aren't written down, then they're getting blindsided by several different things, and all of those things are incredibly emotional and difficult. So I think it's everybody's responsibility, whether you're an RVer or not, to have a plan. I love having a plan. It makes me happy to have a plan. And it doesn't matter whether I'm driving cross country or, planning my inevitable, demise. You got to have a plan. And so, it's just like, it's like the medical care that you need, or, if you're filling prescriptions for medicines that you need, you have to, if you're going to go out there and RV in a location that you are unfamiliar with, you have to know where you're going to get your prescription filled. And not as easy as you would think. It surprised me. Walmart, for example, they're everywhere, and they're all on computers. And you would think that you could walk into a Walmart and say, I need my prescription. It's in California, filled here in Alabama. Well, what I was told when I was in Florida refilling a prescription for high blood pressure medication was that I could only transfer the prescription one time. So I could have my prescription filled in Florida from California, but once I left that area and maybe went deeper into Florida, that they would not transfer the prescription down into another Walmart. So as stupid as that is in the 21st century, when everybody has a computer and or a cell phone, these are people's rules, and I don't really get them, but, I don't really get a lot of stuff. And I keep living my life in the 21st century, and everybody else is living their life in the 20th. So, it's difficult. It's a difficult thing. So I don't know if I don't know if you guys are typing, if there's a comment section. I don't know, because I just went over and just like, bang, put this thing back up after I lost the connection. And so if I didn't answer any of your questions, I'll try to read them, afterwards, and read your comments as well. But, it's a serious subject, being prepared for everything. We're prepared for things like flat tires and dead batteries, and air conditioners that fail, and you know, getting an oil change on your vehicle to maintain your engine, and changing the oil on your, you know, generator if you have one. There are a lot of things that we're prepared for, and then there are a lot of things that we're simply not prepared for. And I suppose through this hour of be prepared conversation, one-sided, of course, is that it's necessary for you to give thought to every aspect of living and dying, so that you don't leave a big mess behind you. And seeing it's real important to me. It's like, you know, I have told my daughter, I have instructed her, if you want the RV, then come get it. If you don't, just find somebody to sell, to sell it. You know, take it to a place and say, you know, give me whatever, and you know, get rid of it. You know, these are the things that, in the event that I was dead, for example, she would have to contend with. You know, what about the dog? What about the RV? What about? I mean, the list could keep you up at night, sleeplessly, going through all of the scenarios that are possible when you're living a mobile life. And I'll tell you, driving cross country was scary. It was, I mean, not really scary, but scary. It was scary. And the scary part were, it wasn't me, and it wasn't my vehicle, and it wasn't Suzuki. The scary part was the other vehicles. You know, cars cutting me off, truckers getting too close. It wasn't even a weather concern, and I was getting, you know, comments about the hurricane in Texas, and I was nowhere near the hurricane in Texas. I was going to be nowhere. You know, I knew it was coming. I knew that there was a hurricane in the Gulf, and that's why it was so. Honestly, I thought I was going to melt. I thought all the fat in my body was going to end up on my feet, because it was just going to melt and just drain down into my feet. I was melting, and it was horrible. And when I got to Louisiana from South Carolina, I headed north, and cut across on the 40 instead of trying to do the 20. And so I was nowhere near any of the rain or weather or whatever. It wasn't even a concern for me, though I was aware that it was coming, and I knew I was going to be ahead of it. And this is, you know, again, being prepared, knowing what the weather is for where you're going. And 10 days out, what's it going to be 10 days out? Okay, it's nice today. What's it going to be in 9 days? You know, knowing this helps you be more prepared. It saves you from having, say, your awning ripped off because you've taken off during the day, you didn't bother to check your weather, and there's going to be high winds all afternoon and your awning is out. So it's a lot of things to consider. It's a lot of thought, but hey, when you're driving an RV, you got a lot of time to think. But it has been an hour, and I'm going to sign off now, and thank everyone who came back, all 16 viewers of you, thank you, who came back after, you know, I lost the internet connection. So irritating. In the internet, what's up with the internet? You know, how long's the internet been around? I mean, I'm not talking dial-up. I'm talking on the airwaves. You would think they'd have it down better by now. Anyway, I want to thank you all for coming, and we'll do this again next week. If anybody has an idea about what you want to talk about, let me know, and we can certainly discuss any topic that you would like to, you know, within the confines of our being. And if you guys have any questions, anything in particular that you need to know about our being, I do have lots of footage of me driving across country that I haven't even begun to edit. And, you know, I'm going to get around to that. As I said, I arrived here on Monday And my grandson's birthday was yesterday. And my goal was to, of course, get here in time to be here for his birthday. And then his birthday party is on Saturday. And he is 1, and he is adorable. He is absolutely adorable. And, you know, he and I Skype, you know, we've been Skyping for this last year mostly. And so it took him a few minutes, but he figured out who I was, which I thought was really cute. But I think it's probably the voice more than anything else. But Skype, see, there's another way of staying in touch with people. And of course, you have to have an internet connection. So anyway, that's it for me. Goodbye. Thanks for coming. And remember, smile and be brave, and, you know, be prepared. Think about stuff. You should probably write a book about being prepared. Maybe I will. Okay, I'll talk to y'all next week, if not before. Okay, I'll see you on YouTube. Bye.